experts, Michelle and Lenny Post. Hey, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Howdy.
How's it going?
It's going great. Happy, let's see, what is today? February 8th, 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, so fast. Like the year went by like whoosh. Of course, you can't see that right.
Yeah. So
Whoosh.
2022, and everybody's going to be going, what in the world happened to all that time? So anyway, thank you for joining me today. This is our show called Why It's Important. And if you guys don't remember, Michelle and Lenny are all about nutrition. Why don't you give us like a 30-second, tell us about you guys.
Awesome. Well, I'm Michelle and this is Lenny. And health and wellness has affected our lives big time in so many negative ways that when we got together, we felt it was really important because we wanted a long, gorgeous life together at 80 years old, where everyone's going, oh my God, you're 80? You don't look a day past 62. And that's been our trajectory.
Absolutely.
That's our why.
Well, we all know that that health is important and nutrition is a big part of that. You are what you eat. Is that that still holds true from like 50 years ago? Or
Yeah,
maybe
I love that you said that because that saying has gone by the wayside. Have you ever noticed? Nobody's saying that anymore. And it's so important, that we start taking a look at what's in our food and what we're actually consuming.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, it's 100% true. Now, we've got a bunch of sub-hubs around the Self-Achievement Network main hub. One of them is called Health and Fitness, and we're going to post this in that when we're finished, okay? And then I'll send you guys the links, and you can share it out to wherever you want to. If you guys don't remember, the members that are out there watching, Michelle and Lenny were our person behind the passion, about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we couldn't help it. It's such a good time.
By Monica, or with the long last name. Thank you very much. And so, Michelle, you've been into nutrition for a while, and Lenny, you are like the side saddle, right? You're the what do we call you? You're the experiment. She's experiment.
Yeah, I am the guinea pig. I'm also my wife here is a certified holistic nutritionist. We call them nutritional consultants here in Alberta. And I consider myself one by proxy. I never got the formal education, but since I am the guinea pig, I learned a lot. I continue to learn a lot.
This is exactly what my wife and I do. I mean, she knows so much. Now, she's not, like she doesn't have the certificate and all that stuff. However, she knows a lot, and she's all like, why are you eating that? I'm just like, oh, okay. It tasted good.
I love going through why people act or behave in a specific way, and based on what it is that they're eating. It can directly affect that. So when I go through it with people, it's like, oh, this is like CSI. It's like, and I actually see myself in this whole like chemist. It's not, I don't do that, but there's like this whole, CSI, the scanning to the do. There's a dot. Let's connect them. It's so fun.
Absolutely, yeah. So okay, so you guys got you guys got together. You met, and then you were already into nutrition. Or?
No. Great, yeah. So when I met my dear husband, he had been a bachelor for 6 years and I was single for 8. So I know, like really super fun. However, I definitely had a better nutritional, growing up sake than he did. And so when we got together, I noticed how he was stocking his household for himself and his kids that he had visited him every couple of weeks there. And there's like nothing besides meat sticks and cheese and nachos. And that was it. Like,
empty bachelor refrigerator syndrome.
Oh my God.
Big time.
So I started cooking and he's like, oh my God, you can cook. And I still cook the standard American, we call it the standard American. So sorry, everybody, if that triggers you, then let's clear that because we're going to talk about that after. So the standard American diet, which of course is just the one where there's too much proportions, there's too much new refining, there's too much like this or that. That's what we call it. Sorry. So we were still eating that type of diet when we got together. However, I definitely had a lot more vegetables and other things, and definitely looked into my body as I was gaining weight. That was the beginning of my weight gaining over time. I looked at his shelf and I checked out how much he was eating. And he was eating out 15 times per week.
Ooh.
He was drinking 4 liters of Coca-Cola.
Actually, it turned out to be Diet Pop by that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was actually at that time. And
4 liters.
Right. And there was nothing I could do. When we started ordering pizzas, it was like, well, this is not going to be a Elite Lovers pizza completely. You're going to add 2 vegetables onto that pizza. And they're like, what? You know, him and the kids. I was the biggest meanie to them because I know, like, they hate me. Like, seriously, they just did not like that. I'm like, too bad. Like, get something in there, for crying out loud. So we were together for about 2 years when, well, it was under 2 years, so just over a year, when Lenny, God love him, was rejected for life insurance in his 40s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And that was pretty scary, because when you're rejected for life insurance, they think you're going to die. You know,
that's pretty well what I thought. I already had life insurance. I was switching providers, and I'm just going to move this slightly over so my wife
thanks, babe.
can be in the picture better. I was denied moving on to this new carrier. So we were just about to go to Disney World that year. And let's just say I didn't have the best of time in Disney World, because here I thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back, we looked into it, and it took forever to find out what was actually wrong with me. My physician wouldn't diagnose me properly. It took 2 years.
Took 2 years. So we got back.
Yes, we got back.
We didn't know for 2 years what was going on with him. We had to go to counseling, because we did find out that it was his enzymes from his liver that were really bad. They wanted to put him on statin drugs. He said no, but he wouldn't change one thing about himself, and that came with nutrition. Oh my God. We went to counseling, and even the counselors, I was saying, like, Lenny, what else do you need? And she's like, Lenny, are you listening to your wife or to your girlfriend?
Wait. Had to go to a food shrink?
We had to go to a specific couples counseling.
Couples counseling.
Because he wouldn't do anything. And he said, basically, what he said, not basically, verbatim, I will change my diet when I get diagnosed. And all I could say is, this isn't good enough for you? So I actually said to him in front of the counselor, I don't think you understand what this means for me. I just met you. We just got together. We're in love. We're living together. And now you're going to die on me? I said, if you die on me, I'm not going to be sad.
I'm going to kill you if you die.
I'm going to be effing angry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be super angry. And the counselor is there is like, are you listening to her, Lenny? He wouldn't do anything.
Where's that cricket sound effect?
I know.
When I need it.
It was really devastating. I met this guy, and he's not going to do anything to make himself live. And I'm like, you son of a shit. Like, it was awesome.
Okay. Now it's a good thing we know we're talking about the old Lenny, because
Yes,
totally transformed, right?
totally transformed. It did take 2 years to diagnose him with fatty liver disease. And by then, we had actually started doing the nutrition, because he listened to the counselor at that time. So now he listens to me. So, you know, sometimes that happens in a relationship. You have to go there.
Fatty liver disease. I mean, it sounds scary, because it's not like you can take that. You can't like pull your car into the shop and they can like clean it out, right? No, this is something that's got to happen over time, and with the proper nutrition. Yeah.
We found one specific super nutrient. So this is before I went into nutrition, but it was a super nutrient called Moringa oleifera. And it has, instead of all these ones that have like 17 vital nutrients, this one already has 92 in itself. It's called the Miracle Tree. So we looked heavily into that. And within 6 weeks, he still wouldn't change his nutrition. But within 6 weeks of adding this on a regular basis into his life, his liver enzymes had dumped down to 32%.
Wow.
We had 32% from what they were. So they said, it's still too high. We really still want to see you on statins. However, since you've gone down so dramatically, let's see where this goes. And then after we got his liver down to completely acceptable ranges is when they actually diagnosed him.
Yeah, which is wild.
So we had a lot of fun.
You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
Right now you're fine. So keep doing what you're doing.
Nice.
So the whole nutrition journey actually went into the fact that we were geriatric and still wanted to have kids. So I know, like, can you believe it?
That geriatric is anything over 40.
Right. So and now we're over that. So super fun. So we wanted to have kids, and we were not producing. We were not getting pregnant together in our late 30s, and then we hit 40. I was 42, and then finally, like, we got in there, and they said, "Yeah, you guys are geriatric." We did our first in vitro fertilization when I was 42, and it failed miserably. And I always saw tons of children in my life. I just couldn't see my life without kids. And so we tried again, but this time I studied everything I could on nutrition, and became a holistic nutritional consultant here in Alberta as well. Nutritionist through most of the rest of Canada, so just saying that. And then got accredited in everything, and we changed everything in a 6-month period in our geriatric state from 3 poor quality embryos to 10 medium and high quality embryos. And the clinic said, like, we've never seen anything like that.
They were just amazed.
No one's ever done that.
Yeah.
And we changed everything. So we got off all refined foods. We incorporated all organics. We changed our water system. We even went to the nearest, water place.
Spring, like a natural spring, and actually would get spring water. Hour and a half drive out of town to actually get spring water.
Because it's ionized. It's got microalgae in it. It doesn't have crap. It's never touched the air before. So yeah, like, we changed everything. And that's how we were able to really increase our odds in reproductive health. So we did really well. We did have 1 pregnancy, and unfortunately, there's a myriad of reasons why it didn't work past the 12 weeks. A myriad of reasons, which we're not going to pass judgment on because it happens, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how the nutrition story came into our lives, and of course, one of the times that it didn't work out. It's funny now, but you guys are going to go, Michelle, that's not funny.
Uh-oh.
So we were doing another IVF, and 100% of the embryos were all high quality. So after that,
big one.
So what ended up happening is during the week that we were supposed to go harvest. So I'm going to use these terms, you guys. Harvest the embryo, the embryos, follicles. We're going to go harvest my eggs. It's our anniversary. And Lenny says, I'm not feeling very well. And I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? He's like, yeah, let's just go home. We were supposed to go out for our anniversary. He's like, I can't do it. I'm like, okay. The next day I was supposed to wake up and go to the clinic so that way they could actually, take the last follicle out. And Lenny's like, I got to call an ambulance.
It's our anniversary. Yeah, I got to go to the hospital.
So I had to go because we spent $15K, on our IVF, right? Like, and so I have to go, but I have to meet you at the hospital. I feel like crap because I can't go to the hospital with you. So I went to the hospital after and found him, and he's just sitting in his chair. And they're like, yeah, it's gallbladder. They did an ultrasound, and he just sat there. So I just sat with him. Then they started prepping him for surgery about 8 hours later. And it's like, what are you prepping him for? They didn't even tell us what was going on. And it's like, well, he has to have his gallbladder taken out. And we're like, we have an IVF that if he is not capable of going and doing his donation this week.
Do my part.
Right?
Donation.
It's like everything's down the tubes here. And they said, okay, we'll just monitor him overnight. So they monitored him overnight. He passed a stone. Fantastic. Felt better. Started turning yellow.
Oh my God.
Jaundice started creeping in pretty quickly.
Oh my God. And so they let him come home, but he came with me to the clinic so he could do his part, and he was already starting to turn orange. He wasn't even yellow. And even the doctors are there. I was like, man, if I had the machine here, I'd help you out right now. Because you got a problem, dude. Yeah. Like, seriously.
Oh, we know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
So,
man. And you knew for sure it was the gallbladder?
Yeah, we knew it was the gallbladder at that point, but we didn't know why he would all of a sudden turn jaundice after passing this stone.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
And there was no pain or anything. And that was the big deciding factor for the diagnosis. They're going, you're lying. You've got to be in pain because, you're doing this. And I'm going, I am not in pain.
Yeah.
I had a fairly high pain threshold, but I was off the Percocet already. So, I just like everything was fine. It wasn't a big deal. And
so we finished the IVF.
Yep, made my donation.
And then 5 days later, we're at home. I'm not supposed to do anything for like 2 weeks, nothing. And he was so orange and itchy.
Oh my gosh.
There's one thing they don't tell you about getting jaundice is the severe itching.
Oh, I tell you, your skin just
Really?
glowing. It's
severe.
Now
So-
wait, let's stop for a second. So the gallbladder, right? There's all our intestines and all these little tubes and everything. And I think gallbladder, or is that? Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Gallbladder.
And then what does it do? It like squirts
So the
gooey stuff so that things slide through better.
Good question. So gallbladder actually is an organ of storage. So it stores all concentrated bile that the liver produces and puts it in there. So that way, when you eat foods, fattier foods, it'll put it out there into your intestines. So that way your body can break down fat. So just remember, they're called bile salts. So when there's a problem that's getting backed up, it's going back into the liver, then all of a sudden it's going through your entire body and getting into every single cell. And it's a salt. So it's itchy.
Yeah, it's called bilirubin, and it goes everywhere. Like my eyes turned color, my skin, everywhere turned a different color.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
everywhere.
everywhere. And so it's very it's not very fun.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine.
And the crazy thing is that Shell still had to go in, and I ended up being in the hospital for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
No.
They didn't know what was wrong with me. They knew it was the gallbladder, but they didn't know what to do, and they didn't want to take it out right away because they figured they poked some extra holes in me. They did a whole bunch of stuff. They did a bunch of tubes down my throat and check out my stomach. It was crazy, some of the stuff they did.
I went to everything with him.
Yeah.
Everything. So needless to say, the stress level I had for in vitro did not work out that.
No, we did not.
No, not that time. So, that didn't work out.
I guess that wasn't like the romantic moment.
No. But I know so much about getting pregnant now. I know more than the doctors do, for crying out loud, because I had to live it. I had to study all these different modalities about
Right.
it. I know so much. It was just, even the doctor's like, yeah, I'll bet you do.
Yeah.
Well, let me I'm just gonna speculate here. I think I could safely say that Lenny's listening to you a little more now than he used
Or
to.
even that. Well, super fun that you say that, because he did not.
That was bad.
Even after that?
There are belief systems around specific organs and such that maybe some of you don't know about or believe in, but it's true, because the liver gallbladder is the site of stored resentment and anger. And so he's one of those people that completely ignored his own anger or resentment and didn't have proper boundaries, didn't share the word no.
I was not a no person
at all, and didn't actually express himself in that manner. And I'm not that person. So when the gallbladder was gone, he came home from the hospital a complete.
I was not a fun man. I was angry. I was bitter.
You didn't say peach. You said because you.
Yeah, I said
B word.
A B word.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch.
I was bad. I was being real bad.
So even at that point, he's home for a couple of days. He's still got this massive tube out of him for drainage sake. And I'm like, nope, you're on your own. You're going to act like this after everything that I've been trying to do. I know, I'm trying to help you, and you're going to treat me like this? No freaking way. Because he didn't have the organ to store it in anymore because it blew up.
It literally blew up.
Come on.
Oh my God.
This has to do with a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? So super important, super fun that we're doing it. Just in the process, it works.
Oh,
I love it.
Easy story.
I know, right? So what we've learned over the course of time, of course, is with holistic nutrition, we are working with the whole body. So it's body, mind, and spirit, right? It's everything. Your entire lifestyle. And that has to do with learning to say what you mean and what you feel and what you think, because issues like what Lenny had happens. So how do you know? Like, so there's all these wonderful books. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. We've got this wonderful one in Canada, Jacques Martel, with the complete dictionary of ailments and diseases. And I also have a history with Crohn's disease. And when I looked it up on here, it's like, so you have issues with your mother and you want attention. Now, you guys have just seen me here, and kind of true. Like, you guys can already say that without knowing what the story is. Not gonna deny it.
Wonderful.
So you can look up the symptoms, and it'll tell you what's your
Yep.
what do you call it? Your mental.
Your belief systems.
Yeah.
What's happened for you and what you're actually attaching to your thinking patterns, because thoughts can cause disease. Negative thoughts vibrate on a low level, and that's where a lot of disease and ailments can happen. Whereas the higher you get your vibration and your energy, that actually goes right into your cells. And even as we're learning more and more about law of attraction, there's been studies done on the crystalline water. Is that right?
Yep, the water. Yep, ice crystals. Yep.
Ice crystals. So you guys may have seen this on the rice test, as well, on many different factions. Whereas if you take some water and you completely leave it by itself, it's abandoning it. Just let it go. You have another cup of water that you're leaving on the shelf for 2-3 weeks, and it's you tell it how much you hate it. And then there's the water that you're saying, I love you, you're so awesome, and you're giving it kudos. And when you freeze that water, it's a completely different crystalline structure.
No way.
Yeah. There's lots. There's quantum physics are involved, like you name it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all vibrate. So it's so important that we actually deal with.
Okay, let me just get this straight. So if I take 2 glasses of the same type of water, right, and then every morning I wake up, or a couple times a day, I'm like, I love you so much. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, you asshole.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
And then I freeze it after how many days?
I think it's a couple weeks.
Yep. Just
but you'd have to actually get into the crystalline structure.
So a little microscope and check it out. But the crystalline structure is different. And they've actually done a very similar test with rice. Wow. Yeah, with rice, and how rice moves around in a jar of this water as well. And if you talk meat to it, a lot of times it'll start to rot and just die. And the other rice will actually move its way up through the container. It's actually amazing. Just some of the neat experiments have actually been done with this positivity and negativity when it comes to just creatures and beings, because we are vibrating.
It makes sense. I mean, I'm not an educated person, like, with that kind of stuff, but I can imagine. I mean, everything is energy, right?
Everything.
So, you're going to put this vibe out there, and something's going to happen. It's going to affect it one way. You're going to get a result, regardless, right? So, interesting. Wow.
Absolutely.
I had somebody on not too long ago. Well, it's been about 1.5 years. There's a guy, an Egyptian guy, that used to be an engineer, like a high level engineer. And he was telling me that he teach pieces about people about this whole energy thing, because it's like a cell phone, right? We don't think about that a lot, but if you take, if you look at what a cell phone really is and what it does, I mean, it's taking signals from somewhere, a tower, and it's getting here somehow. That's energy, right?
Yeah.
And there is no strings, right? So it's real stuff.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. So I love quantum physics. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that I keep studying this stuff, and I keep going, whoa, like, this is so interesting. And that's why, like, the book, like, by Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, and this is all about negative emotions and negative thought patterns, which most people have. People have negative thoughts about where they've come from, what they've done, and how that's even come in. And a lot of people don't think they have control over their thoughts. And no matter how many times somebody says, well, you can control that, that's in your thoughts, people don't realize, or it does take exercise to actually change those neural pathways, to start thinking things more positively. But the difference is that you can't just think things positively if you have negative thoughts. You need to actually clear the negativity from past issues and past traumas in order to get to that place of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
And this massively can increase health, wellness, all personal growth, anything and everything, by clearing, which is where we learned the SRT technique, the subconscious release technique.
which is like my next question. So SRT, which is help me.
Subconscious.
Subconscious release
Technique.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Now that sounds kind of scary to me. So it's like, okay, so what's going to happen? Someone's got to reach down into my like places where I don't want to go. Like,
no, not at all. Awesome.
It's
wonderful. We're not psychiatrists or psychologists. We cannot diagnose or pass judgment in any way whatsoever. There's just no way. And you can't pass judgment on the subconscious, because if you could, it would be the conscious.
Because you're thinking about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? So for some people, it's scary. It's like, oh my God, I have to release this from my subconscious. It's like you have no idea what it's hung on to or why. So we're not gonna, pass that judgment. I think that's the biggest thing is people have fear. Oh my God, if you knew my thoughts, then you'd be angry with me, or you would think I'm disgusting. It's just not that way at all. Because
I think that from what I've learned, and I know a little bit, okay, but subconscious, just below the conscious awareness stuff, that things that we don't think about, and like for example, one of the things that we don't think about is keeping our heart beating. That's not something that we're sitting there going, okay, beat. So that's one of those things that's on a subconscious level, but that has to do with the body. But there's also things inside here that are going on. Like I could be driving down the road having a conversation about that time my little brother did that thing, and then I was really mad at him, and it's just like a fleeting thought, and then and then it's gone.
Bingo.
It's still in there.
It's still in there, and you think, I worked on my relationship with my brother, so how come it keeps coming back? And again, it's the subconscious still has emotions attached to it from that event.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do with the subconscious release technique, is release those
conscious release. Like, is it like dealing with a particular issue, for a better word, and then like saying, okay, it no longer is valid in my life, so I just like.
So the end result is exactly that. How much you have to deal with. If you let those emotions go, you don't got to do anything, right? All you have to do is breathe. It is the simplest exercise that we teach you how to do.
Tell us.
Awesome. So what happens is we energetically connect with people. Because of the whole quantum physics, we are all energetic beings. Dominic, can you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. Say no.
No.
Okay. So we're connected. Even from this distance, we're super connected. And all we do is we find out what we call programs. So it's the same thing that you said about you and your brother is a program that is repeating. And it's actually connecting with an emotion that's on your subconscious, which is either making you move forward or keeping you held back. And we want to release those emotions so you can be a choice. So whatever that is. So we have our handy dandy emotion list. And we go through and we energetically connect which emotions are stuck with that program. And then you do the breathing technique and you release it.
Yeah.
And then you fill up with more gratitude.
Yeah. So just imagine your subconscious as this almost like a hard drive. It's taking in everything around you and it's putting it in and writing it down to that hard drive. And a lot of that stuff can be through repetition. For example, things are going on constantly all the time. Some trauma that's happened in your life, that's what can cause certain things in the subconscious to be the way it is. We can also talk about authority figures. This is big, where certain authority figures, we get fear, whatever it may be involved with authority figures that have a way of imprinting themselves in our subconscious. And lastly, it's just growing up from about 0 to 18. There's the time where we actually got that stuff, and that's imprinted there as well. So the whole idea with the technique is just to identify these programs and just talk to our subconscious, release them so they're no longer in control of how we react. They're not saying that they go away. They're just no longer controlling what we're going to do moving forward.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow. I think that's really amazing, because like can think back into my 20s, right? Where I had so many things going on. And I could have used this. I think what I could have used was like a whole reformatting of my hard drive would have been a good thing back
Pretty
then.
much exactly. That's how I use it all the time.
Yeah, but I think that if there's some things, okay, so let me ask a question. So then when it comes to nutrition, releasing these subconscious things, if you will, emotions, right? When I release them, how does that affect the whole nutritional thing? It allows me to rethink what I'm doing to this amazing organism that we call a body.
Awesome. There's so many connections that emotional connections people make with food, and why they eat what they eat, why people eat for comfort, why people eat for boredom, what happened to you previously that made you want to eat this. Addictions are the same thing. There's food addictions. It's real, guys. The food addiction is real. It actually happens to do that way. You can release the emotional attachment that you have with each individual food, or with the lifestyle that surrounds eating or drinking coffee, the way that it's been. If you can release those emotional attachments, then you can be at choice. So it's even more like I couldn't quit smoking, right, until I actually learned to be okay with emotions. That was a big deal. So if you want to quit smoking in order to gain your health, then release your emotional attachments. Why are you smoking? Why are you smoking at this minute? What's going on for you? Get rid of the emotions there. So it can help with every single aspect of your life, especially with nutrition and health. Like seriously.
Wow.
So yeah, like it's pretty amazing. So the technique is really simple. So as we go through our handy dandy emotion list, all you have to do is take a deep breath in. You don't have to share anything or explain anything. You take a deep breath in and you hold it. You say what we tell you to say in your head. And then when you're done saying it, don't mouth it. Don't say it out loud. We want you to keep your breath in. You blow it out.
So release.
Yeah. Release.
Yeah. It's sort of like in a way, it's like a reprogramming, or I like to call it brainwashing.
Well, so we don't want people to go do that one specifically. We do have
brainwashing is not a bad thing. I mean, I could think of a lot of people, including myself, that every once in a while I need to wash my brain to get all that crap cleared out of there.
I love that you said we have so many techniques, memory replacement, all that kind of stuff, but we don't stop you from your life as it happened. We build you up to actually have better experiences around the negative happenstance. So that's what we end up doing with that. Again, you're at choice. So if something really hurt your heart when you were a kid and that was trauma, then we can actually build up the positivity. So that way it doesn't hurt your heart so much. So you can move past it quicker.
Yeah. That's the big thing about this technique.
Yeah.
Just being able to move past it.
And this stuff is pretty much medically proven. I mean, it's been around for a while, and people are doing it, and people are creating results with it.
There's more and more people who want to live a positive life.
Yeah.
They just have to get a place that they want to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works. It just absolutely works. So, Dominic, is there anything that you'd like to release?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Let me think about it, and then we'll come back and do it. I mean, the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head is I like to drink wine. Right now, I'm on the weekend only wine regime. So, but it was, I could say for like up until maybe 3 months ago or 4 months ago, it was pretty much a daily thing. And I only just decided to do the weekend thing so that I could, cleanse the equipment over here. Right. So,
how do you feel by not having wine every day? Emotionally.
I'm totally okay with it. Because I've already been in the routine now for several months. So it's like, it's going to be Monday, done. I'm done. And I don't have any, there's no like,
yeah, I'm getting this week. So consciously, you're okay with it, but subconsciously, there's some emotions still attached to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go through it with you. Lenny's actually going to do, if you're okay with this, we're on camera, we're just going to release daily wine.
The only problem is we're recording this, and if I have to change something, I'm going to be like,
how do I do that?
You don't have to share anything else. Lenny's going to go through the emotions.
No, it's good. It's good. I like this a lot.
That's done. So we're going to release, the program is Daily Wine.
Daily Wine.
Daily Wine. And so he's going to go through the emotion list, and I'm going to breathe with you. And so you can see how it's done. And we won't go through the whole list. We'll make it nice and quick.
We'll make it quick.
We'll make it quick. And then you can just see how that works for you moving forward.
All right.
So basically what we do is, like we said before, just breathe in. I release all aggression with Daily Wine. And breathe that out.
Okay, so I let my breath out.
Yep.
Yep.
So you just say it quietly to yourself. Don't mouth it. It really looks like, that's it.
And here's the next phrase. I release all anxiety with Daily Wine. Good. Excellent. I release all doubt with Daily Wine. Nice. Getting the hang of it. That's fantastic, Dominic. I release all irritation with Daily Wine. Good. I release all nervousness. Good. I release all resentment. Good. I release all skepticism. Good. Now we're going to change the phrase ever so slightly to reduce or release the blocks around positive emotions. So here we go. I release all blocks with appreciation with Daily Wine. Good. I release all blocks with enjoyment. Good. I release all blocks with happiness. Good. I release all blocks with memory. Excellent.
I've got a lot of cough coming up for that one.
I release all blocks with surety with Daily Wine. Fantastic. And I release all blocks with worthy. And as part of this technique, we just released a bunch of the negative emotions and blocks to positive emotions. We're going to fill this up now with gratitude, a minimum of 3 gratitude statements. I'll do the first one. I am so happy and grateful that I still get to have my wine.
I was going to do that.
Good.
I'm so happy and grateful that when I enjoy my wine, I enjoy my wine.
Dominic, we're going to ask you to share one. I gratitude.
Share one.
Gratitude. So it's, I'm so happy and grateful that, and then what is it around wine or drinking on the weekends, whatever comes to your heart.
I'm so happy and grateful that I get to enjoy my food with my daily wine.
Nice. That's it.
Actually, that one's a really good.
That was a good one.
Look at you smiling, though. Hey.
Yeah. Just love it. The gratitude statements.
Woo!
How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Feel great. That was good. I really enjoyed that. I love that.
Yeah. Hey.
And it really gets down to that I enjoy the pairing of the food with the wine, and so then when I'm having my lunch or my dinner, it's like that's what I go through, is having that. And there was a I don't know what maybe it's the that combination in my mouth that is different than just like taking a sip of water.
Right.
There's something about the wine that does make it a different pleasure.
That's awesome. People get different reactions when they've done the technique. My first reaction was,
yeah, she was actually kind of floored a couple days. Actually, she was just like, and this one can't talk. You know, something's going on.
The program I released was called Waste of Space, and it's something that I had consciously dealt with. And I'm also level 2 EFT, emotional freedom technique practitioner. I've done all kinds of stuff, as well as a certified professional coactive coach, as well as a holistic nutrition consultant. And I thought I had dealt with that, and it was still on the subconscious.
That's right.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Interesting. There's so many things. Right. Exactly.
right?
Uh-huh.
And this one really released that program that when it was done, I was just so dumbfounded that because I thought it was gone. I don't believe waste of space. I don't believe it consciously, but my subconscious was still holding negative emotions onto it. So super, super fun how everyone takes it differently when they go through it. Lenny's a big smiler.
I smile. Yeah, when I do the gratitude, I smile. Very similar to how you reacted, Dominic. I was just
That's great.
Right?
That's great. You know, so okay, so the cool thing is like I'm sitting here and I'm in the far west side of Chicago and you are up in Alberta, yes?
Yep.
Right? So I mean, this is like something that can be done, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be like come to the doctor's office, right?
Yep.
that's right.
Yep.
Yep.
So amazing. This is so cool.
Yeah, we
Great.
love to share it with everyone because we also do the 28-day challenge for everyone. We challenge everyone to go 28 days, releasing a program a day, and just notice the difference on how you're acting or reacting based on what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like all of a sudden, I used to jump right to anger and miss all the emotions in between because that's my programming of when I was growing up. That you know, like you deny your feelings. And being such an emotional person, I would just blow up and I would get like physically angry. And so going through this and releasing all the emotions in between that I'm supposed to feel has been just godsend for me.
It's been absolutely wild. Yeah, and the technique is great because we do this remote muscle testing, and that's how we were testing. But this technique, you can learn to muscle test for yourself and actually go through the same list and actually do that stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
We love sharing that with everyone.
You guys are amazing.
It's for you, Dominic.
Thank you.
This is just such cool stuff. So people can reach out to you, and yeah, you can take it from there. So let's go to this. I just put up on the screen. So why it's important. So sum up for us the the technique and then the whole like nutrition thing. So why is it important? Why? I mean, really, like why?
So the subconscious release techniques helps each individual release programs or emotions for programs that are associated around food, lifestyle, wellness. A lot of people don't even move themselves forward because they have been labeled with a chronic illness. And so they actually don't take advantage of everything that they can do because they've been told once, you're never going to work again. As in my case, when I was originally diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I was told I would never work again. Here's your AISH forms. You're going to be on welfare for the rest of your life. And so if I would have actually taken that literally versus actually proving that I can do stuff, I'm going to have a normal life. And then getting rid of all these emotions stuck to that has helped me move myself forward. Mm-hmm. Why it's important for each individual person to have the body and the health and the lifestyle that they want is because you're passing it on to others. Because the better care you take of yourself, the more you're giving permission to other people to do the same. Right now, in a world of complete illness that has trapped the entire world, literally, it's super important that we take responsibility for our own health and wellness in order to not pass anything on to anyone else.
Who wouldn't want more energy? Who wouldn't want to be healthier? Who wouldn't want to be able to, to do that? That's just amazing.
So if people are struggling out there with I can't, or my lifestyle doesn't allow it, or whatever it is, to get rid of those programs on a subconscious level so you can up-level your own life, which again helps everyone.
Yeah, I love that. It's great. The thing that I also think about is quality of life. I mean, it's like daily, like since I've been sort of back on the wagon, the thing about worrying about my health is greatly diminished. I mean, I still have a little bit of things. I'm 62, so I think about prostate and things like that. So
those are all programs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the world has told you that at 62, most people get sick with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's in your mind. And if it's in your mind, you're dumbing down your vibration towards it. You're actually adding it. So we want to make sure that everyone gets to focus on as much positivity as possible. Hence all the gratitudes.
Mm-hmm.
Were you worried about your prostate when you were grateful about wine?
Seriously doubt it.
Michelle, you're
That's funny, but of course, I mean, I've been the whole prostate thing. is how do I want to put it? It's kind of like, it happens to all of us when we're over 50. That's an old program, you're saying.
What to believe truth is to believe whatever you want to believe.
Right. Okay. So all right.
If
Okay.
you believe because somebody else told you that,
I'm open.
Yep. So we're going to share with you how to do it real quickly. How's that sound?
That's great. Okay. So let me tell you what you're up against here, because it's like, so when I think about it, it's that it's a physical part of my body that is, I mean, can I change the physical size of this thing that's in there and without drugs? I've been doing turmeric. I've been doing I can't even remember all the things that my wife gives me. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I cannot comment at all about drugs and doctors' recommendations. I cannot say that. What I can tell you, every cell in your prostate vibrates with energy. So what energy are you going to feed it? Worry and fear? Or are you going to feed it love and happiness?
Okay. I
Right?
understand. Yeah.
Makes sense. So over 50, everyone has to worry about it is a program for you. So we're going to do a quick one. We're going to share it with you really quickly. And then that way, this is what I want you to take for 28 days and just recognize you can do this one super quickly without muscle testing or anything.
Done.
Okay. Deep breath in. I release all negative emotions with people over 50. It happens to everyone. Okay. Deep breath in. I release all blocks with all positive emotions with people over 50. It happens to everyone. Good. Minimum of 3 gratitudes. I am so happy and grateful that I have this magnificent prostate. Lenny, your turn.
I'm so happy and grateful that I don't have to be like everyone else.
Nice. Breathe that in. Dominic, your turn for a gratitude.
I am so happy and grateful that I can wake up in the middle of the night and go pee.
Hey, here. It's nice to be able just to do that, brother. It feels so good.
Right?
Yeah.
So to know that anything you believe
Oh
in the world is a program. It's an opinion, whether somebody studied it or not, whether it's factual truth, everything is attached to energy and there's quantum physics around everything.
Yep.
Okay, so my homework, 28 days.
28 days.
And so I know how to monitor how things are moving, progressing. I can handle that one. So then what I'm going to do it once a day, twice a day, anytime that I want to.
Minimum of once a day. Do it all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you anything to take a deep breath in and release things.
Nope.
So Lenny and I have often, when it was nice and we didn't have snow falling all over, we would go out for a walk if we were not in the best place. And we would recognize that everything we're thinking is a program, and we would go for a walk for an hour and a half, and just continue to release the quick way. In and out, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. By the time we got home from a walk, it's like our entire world has changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Deal.
Yay!
Deal. Okay. So then we're going to do this in what, a week or 2 weeks? And then, so what's 28 divided by 7? It's 4.
4 weeks.
4 weeks. So when do you want to come back so we can get an update?
Oh my God, let's do it in 4 weeks then.
4 weeks or 2 weeks?
Let's do 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I love it. I love it, Dominic.
Okay.
I love it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
So are you.
Okay. Wow. Oh, that was only 50 minutes long. Yeah, I was thinking like 25, 30 minutes max.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. This is great. Okay, so 2 weeks from now, I'll send you the link again, and then we'll come back and we'll see how it's going. So I really appreciate what you have done, and I really appreciate that you shared all this great information with not only me, but with our folks in our network.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you. So are you.
Reach out to these guys if you have questions about anything that we've talked about today. They're going to be tagged in this. They're already tagged in it, however that works. And then, yeah, just reach out and see what happens. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dominic.
Thanks, Dominic.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for watching and hanging out with us here in the Self-Achievement Network. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye-bye for now.